Welcome back after that very, very short break. Once again, I'm here, man of class, with Katrina, and we're going to do the next match, which is Team Andromeda Gravitas versus Team Aris. And it's going to be a humdinger if I've ever seen one.
Oh, for sure. Right now, we have just come off of Gravitas winning 2-0, so momentum is definitely on their side. So I'm definitely excited to see if they take the same strategy with Rialto, the match that they full held their opponent on.
They did, and they were using a lot of projectile heroes, a lot of Junkrat, Hanzo, heroes like that. We've seen them do a little bit of Widowmaker, but not as much. And what I've seen from Team Aris is they're very good at their tank combos. Yenis and Demi Laren, very good tank combo, both on the Winston, the D.Va, also on the Reinhardt and the D.Va. Not so much the Zarya department, but they don't need it because they've got Yodam running around on a Sombra a lot of the time, and Zinganza doing a little bit of the hit scan DPS here and there. It's going to be a fun matchup. Again, they're likely not to be as equal, or at least as similar in their compositions as we might have seen in the previous matchup. So that's going to be fun to watch.
Definitely a lot of opportunities for countering. I am excited, though, to see a D.Va in the mix. We haven't surprisingly seen as much of D.Va as you typically would, and that removes all of that defense matrix ability, which is so important against Gravitas's favorite heroes like that Hanzo, like that Junkrat. So Team Aris will have a potential to counter all of that damage coming in.
Yeah, and of course, D.Va's Matrix has not been as strong of late with the new 2-second cooldown and the general nerf that it's been in there for a while with only a 2-second duration. But yeah, Demi Laren definitely showing a lot of prowess, and especially hitting a lot of self-destructs, comboed or not with the EMP or with the Shatter. Almost always has there been at least one kill from it, so that's going to be something to watch out for. Of course, they're going to be starting on the attack, so their compositions aren't locked in as of yet. On the defense, though, the composition is not going to be much different than what we saw only 2 maps ago, which was also Rialto, and also the last map that they played on Iconwald. It's going to be the good old Sam Marzipan duo on the Hanzo Junkrat, and let's see how they deal with it here on the attackers, because they're not running a similar composition into it.
Yes, if Team Aris does keep their composition as it is right now, Zinganza is going to be so important on that Sombra to disrupt the tight-knit gameplay of Gravitas. Even though we do have the snipers and the projectile heroes, a lot of Gravitas is quite condensed, centered around Nick on that Reinhardt. So if Zinganza is able to disrupt Nick's positioning, that could be an opportunity for Aris to take the win.
Yeah, you can maybe see it like it's a little ball of wool. You know, it's a lot of strings attached, a lot of chaos going around, but it's all tied up neatly in this little ball. And that's really what they're showing here. Zinganza take a little bit of damage, but is able to translocate out, and it's now just going to be a menace in the back line. We see Jenos immediately going down, though. There's a lot of damage coming in here. Good anti-nade as well here from Kuma, who has been so good on that Ana. And yeah, that first defense is looking to hold pretty strong, getting a lot of ult charge on that front line there.
Yes, even though Zinganza was able to split up Gravitas just a little bit, the coordination with Gravitas was so incredible, giving Nick all of those resources, Kuma providing those nades to have all of this lasting healing. This team just knows how to enable each other so well, and I won't be shocked if Aris needs a couple of dry pushes to build up ultimates just to break that down.
I think Guns is just being very annoying, but slightly too early on that hack on Nick. Nick was just still not being approached by the front line of Aris in order to be taken down while being hacked. The Shatter does not get anything. Jenos being very patient with his shield on the Reinhardt there, and now they're able to go further forward. Marzipan getting the pick on Zinganza actually proves to be leading it to a 6v4 now, with Nick taking out Jenos as well. Sound barrier, a little bit too late, and even the Coalescence not getting the value that it needed to, so 2 ultimates kind of wasted there, and Nick has already got another Shatter up.
Yes, I have 2 words for you, man of class. Ultimate economy. If you look on the left of your screen, you will see 6 check marks. We have a 6-pack available for Gravitas, and they will be able to sustain as long as possible unless they do overlap support ultimates, which unfortunately Team Aris did with their Coalescence and Sound Barrier, so they are going to be hoping for a couple more of those ultimates back. However, Zinganza's EMP is finally ready, and this could really dismantle everything, especially centered around Nick.
Good Gravitas coming out, immediately the Dragon follow-up. The classic combination they've been showing for the past match that we've cast them as well. And just the follow-through is always there. Trippet is alive though, still a lot of health, still a lot of charge left. And is even being healed up now by Yodem. So Trippet will be able to get away with a Graviton, with a lot of ult charge. And also with a lot of weapon charge, and now they have all the check marks on their side. Still a lot of check marks left on the defender side. Gravitas definitely not without any ultimates. It's in Gunza with his EMP, will just deny them any usage of that. That sound barrier, so clutch though.
Yes, that is the greatest counter to the EMP, that sound barrier. Oh, look at that Shatter and Riptire. So impactful. 3 ultimates now used by Gravitas for this single defense. However, with a minute remaining left on the clock and only 1 ult on the side of Aris, it seems like those were well invested. 60 seconds are remaining, and Marzipan and Andras are both around 75% to that Dragon Strike and that Graviton Surge. Having that combination could mean the end for Team Aris' run on Rialto.
And there's a very small window in which Trippet can land a Graviton that can get enough follow-up. But otherwise, they will really have to fight into this Graviton Dragon combo, as you're saying. And they're going forward now with Jenos, going up against that front line again, together with Demilarian. And they actually will switch Trippet off the Zarya, going over to Zenyatta. They do not want to use that Graviton. They don't think they can get the value out of it. But I don't know if that was the wisest choice. They're going to just face it off here. Front line to front line, right now to Reinhardt. Then the Graviton comes in. The Dragon follows it up. And there's nothing that stops the damage from coming in. It's only Janos going down, so there might still be a chance here for them to pull it back with some guns on the high ground and the fire flying around. But they really have to get some value quickly, and they just don't seem to get it there.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very frustrated at the switch off of the Zarya. Graviton is one of the most impactful ultimates in this entire game. However, Yodem is able to get that pick onto Nick. This pharmacy could be exactly what the doctor ordered for Team Aris.
Then I heard a nano go off there, but I don't know actually where it went. They might have just wanted to put it on Nick, but he died just before it hit.
Yeah, I think so.
The Reinhardt, that's actually unfortunate. I did hear the voice line. That's not my imagination. Now Andraste is being shattered together. Only charges. The Reinhardt just charges away the entire enemy team from the barrage. Still gets the follow-up from it, but Andraste maybe could have gone down and not killed Jenos. Jenos gets rest though, and this will finally be the first point cap, but that was a lot of effort from Aris. Do you still think it was unwise to switch up the Zarya? Or is it, was it, you know,
I guess
they got it eventually.
They did get the point, so now I'm looking a little bit sheepish right now.
Not really though. I mean, maybe they could have also done it with, well, I mean, to Trippet was the Zarya switch over to Zenyatta, did not get an ultimate up, but then maybe the Discord Orb helped them out. It's always the what ifs. They're the hard questions to answer.
Exactly.
Second, they only have 2 minutes to get to second, but this is usually a quote-unquote easier part of the match.
Yes, but right now that Riptire is about to make life a lot harder for Team Aris as it is going straight for Jenos, and it makes that target, but Yodem is still raining that hell from above right now. Demilarian is getting keeled up on that D.Va. Will probably be able to get that remech. Oh, unless Marzipan is... Oh, Marzipan!
Kills from Marzipan. Every single time Jenos goes down, Marzipan just keeps shooting arrows into people. And, I mean, it's sort of got to stop. I mean, at some point, you've got enough needles in your sewing kit, right? Like, you don't need any more.
Marzipan, they have families.
I mean, maybe they just need to send Marzipan a message like, you know, we can sew now. We have enough needles, you know, get our threads through our clothing. But yeah, apparently Marzipan just is very, very giving. You know, very, very, very generous.
Generous, yes. I believe Marzipan will be even more generous with a couple of dragons coming out, accompanied by Andras, having that Graviton Surge, but now Demilarian will have a self-destruct of their own. Oh, was it Eden? It was Eden!
It was Eden. Nice aid from Demilarian there. There goes the Tech Visor. Not enough because there's a trap and you're literally mined afterwards. The charge from Nick will not be able to kill a Transing Zenyatta, and now he throws down the self-destruct, but it won't actually get anything. Sam on the payload won't be able to stay alive. Junkrat wants to spam from range. Marzipan, though, still gets the consolation kill onto Yodem, but probably won't get much more than that and just has to cut their losses there.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that is the play of the game there, even though it is such a subtle play. Demilarian eating all of that energy, all of that Graviton Surge was vital to get the second point.
Yeah, because if you now look at the ultimate chart, right, you have Andraste not having a Graviton, but Marzipan has the Dragon. Do you wait for another Graviton, or do you just want to use their Dragon without it?
Well, Andraste's being able to charge this so rapidly, so at this point, yes, I would wait. However, Dragon Strike typically charges twice as quickly as that Graviton Search. So if Andraste was now instead at 30%, I would be a bit aggressive with it, maybe even spawn camp, but Zinganza, oh, a headshot works too.
Yeah, definitely. Zinganza gets res though, because they do run the Mercy here with Yodem in tandem. And you see Sound now switching over to the McCree, really doesn't want to give that fire any space anymore. Marzipan just takes Zinganza out again. Zinganza might have to watch the head a little bit more for those arrows, because it's Lux. Yeah, I mean Lux flying at your face, you would be, you know, ducking a little bit more, I would say. But yeah, Nick just being smacked by Yenos, and the health for both. Reinhardt's going very low, but now the Graviton Dragon combos back up. They can't really use it though when half their team is dead, and now Nick also falling. They're gonna push in even further here. This could actually be a map completion if they're quick enough about it, if they camp the spawns correctly.
Yes, this most likely will be. Right now, Gravitas does not use a diva. We haven't seen that hero been picked yet, and we are seeing the damage of not having that utility of the defense matrix. There will be a final contest, but I do hope we will see that hero soon from them.
Yeah, now they use the Dragon again without the Graviton. Graviton of Andraste is being held. Maybe was a little bit too afraid of the defense matrix. You see all the other ultimates come out. Sam with the Dead Eye is not using it. Andraste on the Zari is not using it. But they're winning the fight for the defense now. But with only 10 seconds left, this is going to be a very, very scrappy, if not impossible, attack to complete the map here for Team Aris.
Yes, Soldier 76 is running as fast as he can, but he can't outrun a bullet, and the payload will stop there. For the side of Team Aris. Excellent round coming in from both sides. I am looking forward to seeing this being flipped around, see what Team Gravitas can do on their own attack.
Well, we've already seen Team Aris being able to do what their last opponents of Team Gravitas couldn't do. They actually capped the first point, then went on to cap the second point, then they almost got to the third point. So Gravitas really has a harder matchup this time, it seems. And you're right, I think that Diva really is making a lot of a difference.
I completely agree. Right there, we saw Aris adapt, knowing that the defense matrix was not a utility available to their opponent. They can absolutely abuse a Pharmacy. All of that damage rains down. That rocket barrage is almost uncontested. I mean, except for Marzipan on that Hanzo, that was the sole counter to that Pharmacy in the sky, and even then it's quite difficult for a sniper to take down both of those heroes. And maybe even a third one due to a resurrection. So, great adaptation for Team Aris, and I won't be shocked if they keep using that diva. Right now, Gravitas needs to find a little bit of a way around that.
This is also something I've seen before from Team Aris, though, where they use the Orisa Roadhog. And we haven't seen that much of it today. It's going to be good. I'm already looking forward to it. But they're using it together with an Ashe and a Mei. Would you say that that's the best DPS combo to use with it? And if so, why and how?
Now, I haven't seen it necessarily with an Ashe or a Mei. I typically will see this combo with a Sniper and a Junkrat. I do love that Orisa Roadhog combination because you can combine that halt and hook ability to get a very quick, easy kill. But I do like the Mei because it gives Team Aris an opportunity to slow down their targets, many at the same time now with that halt ability. There's a lot of synergy going on. And don't get me started on a hook into a very aggressive Bob, so there's a lot of potential for Team Aris with this composition.
Sam was trying to get around the flanks, but very well corralled off by Yodem and Zinganza together on the Ashe and the Mei, using the wall and the sniper shots very well. Nick is being a little bit centered into the position where Aris wants him to be, instead of Reinhardt, instead of where Nick wants to be. So Yodem very aggressive with that Mei, using the wall and the freeze to a very aggressive position. But Sam taking that Linda could actually prove detrimental to the defense. Only as Zinganza is not that much healing.
Yes, losing that resurrection makes this from a 6v6 into just a 6v5. Right now, that Mercy is the most valuable hero on the field, and Marzipan is now just wreaking havoc. Oh,
just goes around the flank. If there's no shield in the way, then Marzipan can just hit all the arrows that are needed to take down that defense. Takes down a Roadhog of all things. That's a lot of damage she needs to put in, even with that self-heal.
Yes, all of those little headshots add up for that Hanzo with the Storm Arrow. We do see, though, Zinganza is going to most likely be able to contest on this Tracer for a last-second hold, potentially. With Genos having that Bongo available, there could be a lot of damage coming out for the side of Team Aris.
Hey, you think it's going to be Zinganza contesting? Turns out it's going to be Yodam, because Zinganza just gets taken out by Marzipan. And Nick, then Nano and Nick not getting the value that normally happens. The freeze comes out, barely not getting Kuma, but then Marzipan and Kuma are the only ones left, and they're not going to be able to take this down together, are they?
I doubt it, but right now anything has been possible with these two, maybe not anything, but right there we did see a great use of that bongo, of that supercharger coming in from Orisa, turning the tide of this fight. Team Aris now has a whole hog available as an ultimate, but let's take a look right now at Gravitas. Not only are they using that Widowmaker ultimate, they have a sound barrier, available, with Marzipan and Andras going to be able to combine their Graviton and Dragon Strike very soon. It does look like Team Aris will have to take out one of those two key players to be able to continue this hold.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to abuse my caster curse powers a little bit here, but you know, when you do it intentionally, it doesn't really work. And now Team Aris is just being torn apart by this Reinhardt. You see this happen more often when you have an Orisa and a Roadhog. If they get through your shield, that's when you're really gonna start getting in trouble. That's exactly what happened to Team Aris here. And with a minute left, there will be a cap here for Gravitas on the first point. But they still have a ways to go, and they did at least lose 3 minutes on that attack, and that's already a pretty decent time back to not have.
Absolutely, and Sam has earlier swapped over to the McCree, and now we see Demilaren going back to that Diva, something that we have seen being able to counter Gravitas quite severely. So right now, Aris is starting to truly focus, but is demeched immediately.
Unfortunately, Demilaren really demeched, not going to get as much value of eating certain damage projectiles from the attackers here. Nick takes down Yenos, even though the Transcendence was up, but that does mean that the res can come in from Linda. So it's going to be a relatively even fight, even because Kuma and Zinganza have both gone down. And I'd rather have not have a soldier than not have an Ana, in my opinion.
Yes, I completely agree. That Ana provides so much utility, not only with the sleep darts, but with those nades. That is one of the best abilities in this entire game. And right now, Gravitas will have a lot to work with now, as that Ana will have a nano boost available alongside 3 other ultimates. One supports Sound Barrier, an Earth Shatter, and High Noon, as opposed to Team Aris, which only will have, well, they actually do have a couple of things to play with. They have Tactical Visor and Earth Shatter ready for this next team fight.
Oh, but Yenos and Nick taking each other down with the Earth Shatter? That was an interesting one.
Oh no!
Zinganza tries with the Tac Visor, but there's no one on the point. That is, that's unfortunate there. Now with 3.5 minutes, there's so much time left for the attackers. Yodam, though, getting close to that EMP, could actually shut down one push without actually making allowing the attackers to use any ultimates here. So it will be interesting to see whether Gravitas is able to actually engage before the EMP comes out. But Yodam is not charging it just yet. It has already translocated out, so there will be a tiny window, especially with Yodam going down.
Oof. Yes, right now there are still 4 ultimates online for Gravitas, and they are just winning this fight, though, with pure vanilla Overwatch. Sam does fall.
Sam does fall. That is a little bit of a blow there, but with Demilaren not being in the mech anymore and actually dying here, there's just no contest. They've not had set up, and now we see Yodam going back over to that Mei, giving up the EMP for the stall potential. That is something I don't see every day, but it's an interesting choice.
You know what the best stalling is? It's killing the enemy team. And that EMP could have given such a great opening for Team Aris to take them down. But with a High Noon and a nano boosted Reinhardt, it's going to be hard for Aris to be able to compete.
Yeah, and Trippet now out of the Transcendence, won't be able to stall anymore. Yodam coming back in with that Mei. It's going to be able to stall for a little bit. It's now already an Ice Block, no more wall to use. Going to be the sole survivor here. Zinganza tries to come in on the Reaper. Will only take out Sam, but will probably not live for too much longer. And with Demilaren, and then Demilaren Trippet come back. Like I said, these teams really have a knack for just not letting fights end. And it seems to be a trend here in this tournament so far. But eventually that will be the point. And the map for Team Gravitas. Really carry on the momentum from the last game.
Absolutely. They are now in a 3-game win streak. They are ready to make that 4 and take this match. But let's see what Yodom had to do on this Pharah, the play of the game. Let's see. Oh, I think I know which this play is, Man of Clash. This Rocket Barrage combined with the Earth Shatter. You don't see that every day. Being so beautiful. At least if you are a fan of Team Aris.